DMT trips, I mean, mine are always as I described, but some people report, and these may be synergies with antidepressants or something like that, but apparently very stable and strange worlds. I mean, worlds with alien peoples and animals and cities and, very science fiction-y stuff. That's why this Bell's theorem, I don't think we use that word, but this non-locality that we talked about may have something to do with the phenomenon of the imagination. Like, it's occurred to me over the years that what we call imagination might simply be hyperdimensional perception, and you're actually seeing worlds and places that truly exist somewhere scattered through the galaxies like grains of sand, but no place you will ever contact or visit in the flesh, but that the data is somehow present. There seems to be some kind of tuning thing that needs to go on. Possibly with technology. I had a really weird experience years ago. I took LSD one evening with a bunch of people, and it was fairly casual and social, and smoked a bunch of weed, and this went on for a couple of hours, and it didn't really ever seem to come on, and it just seemed to be very light. And then I climbed on my motorcycle and went home and decided I would go to bed, and I decided that I would smoke one last joint before going to bed. And I had one of those stand-up electrical resistance heaters that you get in at the Salvation Army, if you're a poor student. And I turned it on as I started to smoke this joint, and it was badly wired, and it made this sound like, and as I began to listen to this sound, I went to lizard land, and I entered into this completely coherent thing which lasted for hours about this world inhabited by these intelligent reptilian beings, and we went through their art, their history, their theories of jewelry making, their philosophy, their polity, their science, their religion, their fashion, and it was like endless stuff about this very specific reptilian world. Well, then later I tried again. I took LSD with my arm around my heater, and had by then been preaching it in the streets that this was and I could never really find my way back, which is a typical phenomenon of higher dimensional phase space. Ralph taught me, doing the reverse of what you did doesn't steer you back to where you started. You have to find your way forward through the matrix.
Hey everyone, now that 2025 is officially underway, I'm back with a new vision for my channel. This year I'm committing to creating at least one new sketchbook video a week, and hopefully expanding that to 2 or 3 videos once I get into a better rhythm. But part of what I want to do this year is share more of my own thoughts about these Terence clips and start having a deeper conversation with you guys. So let's start with this audio clip. In this story, Terence goes to Lizard Land. It's one of my favorites. Not just because it's funny and interesting, but I think it's an important lesson on having the proper mindset when you're exploring these psychedelic domains. While these trips can be fun and entertaining, we should always take these experiences with a serious mindset. But if you do become a frequent visitor of these internal worlds, you might notice some of the more ridiculous and illogical aspects of your unconscious imagination. This story certainly falls into that hard-to-believe category. Terence, just to recap it, Terence reported tuning into the buzzing of his heater while on an LSD trip, and he had a very unique experience where he was transported to Lizard Land and spent a lot of time talking to their inhabitants, learning about their art and their culture. Terence is such a great storyteller. He has such a light-hearted humor about the whole experience, despite conveying his how mind-shattering the whole thing must have really been. But as crazy as a story may be, this tendency for altered states to show you something unexpected, mysterious, and often confusing may actually indicate something profound if you examine it from the correct context. If you're able to decipher its messaging, you'll learn that you have aspects of your unconscious that are vastly more creative and intelligent than your everyday self. But it can be difficult because this unconscious part of you has a symbolic language, and it tends to reveal its profound insights, often masked with nonsense. The visions of humanoid lizards seems like something out of a sci-fi movie, but oddly, it's more common than you think. I personally have seen visions of Lizardland in my very first psychedelic trip. I even sketched it out, and later I finished up the drawing and made this image. While Terrence's trip was focused on the art and the culture of these lizard people, mine dealt more with the fear and anxiety they were feeling as they were evolving and waking up to more and more consciousness. But despite this coincidence of characters in the experience, I don't really believe that my mind visited the same world that Terence did. I really do like the Jungian explanation that this lizard person exists as something in the collective unconscious, meaning this archetype, it's always a potential character that the imagination can use whenever it wants. I really don't think there's a race of intelligent reptiles out there that's trying to contact us through LSD. But it's fun to think about. But to explain a little bit about the drawing I chose for today's video, I think having a comedic mindset can play a very protective role when you're exploring the imagination like this. The best advice I can give you is try to keep everything you see in a relaxed and unserious manner. Kind of like the mindset you have when you're watching a movie or you're going to see a comedian. In the days afterwards, take a few moments to reflect on what you saw in the altered state and just trust that the important moments will stick with you. I found that any profound insights and wisdom that I'm going to gain from the experience at all will come in the days afterwards when I've spent many hours reflecting on these sticky parts of the journey. Anyway, that's just some of my thoughts from today's clip. Let me know your comments down below. I love to engage with you guys in more conversation. Like I said, I want to get to know you guys. I want you guys to get to know me and grow this channel kind of more organically. So do all the things to help me out. Leave comments. Please subscribe, like, share it. Do all the things the mighty algorithm loves. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.